Beneath the glimmering bay lights and the roar of Chase Center crowds, the shadow of uncertainty stretches longer than ever over the Warriors' future, a silent siege led by one restless soul, Jonathan Kuminga, whose stalled saga is now rattling the bones of Dub Nation's deepest hopes. Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splash-era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. Today, we peel back the layers of the maddening Kuminga deadlock. That's gripping Golden State's offseason with a terrifying vice grip, a suspense no fan could have scripted in the wake of their historic 2025 playoff run. Inside sources, notably Monty Pulu from NBC Sports Bay Area, one of the most reliable Warriors insiders, deliver a grim update. Kuminga remains locked in what Pulu chillingly dubs restricted free agency jail, a place where dialogue between the players' camp and the Warriors' front office is skeletal at best, and hopes of resolution flicker like a dying ember. The franchise, stubborn in their stance, clings to a sign-and-trade or a multi-year contract to bring Kuminga back. Yet the young star seems more detached than ever, refusing to play along with the Warriors' carefully crafted roster puzzle. This offseason, Golden State waits in agonizing limbo unique in the NBA for a team yet to make a major move beyond their second-round draft picks. Will Richard and Alex Tui? It's a limbo where the powerful leverage of restricted free agency becomes a double-edged blade, slicing through the Warriors' championship ambitions. Remember, this isn't just a transactional tussle. It's the unfolding of a philosophical battle dating back 4 years, tracing straight to Joe Lacob's visionary hand picking Kuminga 7th overall. Lacob's fingerprints are everywhere. He shielded Kuminga from trades, believing in his potential as a foundational piece of the Splash era's next chapter. But as Monty reflects, this is unprecedented. Never before have we seen a player with so much upside effectively hold a franchise hostage, savoring a star role and eyeing a $25 million plus annual payday that the Warriors, with their constellation of stars, Steph Curry's golden legacy, Draymond Green's stalwart toughness, and even the recently acquired Jimmy Butler simply cannot accommodate. The Warriors want youth and draft capital in return. The market, meanwhile, is desolate. Offers for Kuminga have been tepid at best. Sacramento's buy low proposal, including Devin Vassell and Dario Saric, was swiftly rejected. Miami's interest vanished with the Norman Powell trade, and Chicago's potential deals faded as they retooled around new faces like Isaac Okoro and Noah Vonleh. Then there's Phoenix and Washington, emerging whisper markets, but their assets lack the firepower to tempt the Warriors, leaving Kuminga's trade market chillingly barren as his agent and Golden State wrestle in silence. Does Kuminga truly want out? Industry whispers confirm it. He's a young starlet yearning to escape the shadow of Curry's empire and carve out his own kingdom. But at what cost to the Warriors' delicate balance? Here's the under-the-radar bomb no one saw coming. Kuminga could lean into the qualifying offer, an $8.2 million one-year contract, a stairway leading to unrestricted freedom in 2026 when the salary cap landscape could shift dramatically. But history doesn't favor this gamble. Since 2018, players accepting qualifying offers seldom blossomed into stars again. Names like Alex Len, Nerlens Noel, and Rodney Hood serve as cautionary tales, transient figures who either vanish or earned only minimum contracts after turning down multi-year deals. Miles Bridges stands as a rare beacon as a success story, but his path was far from typical. Would Kuminga bet his career on this long shot? And if he does, would the Warriors rethink their offer or rescind it altogether to avoid him walking into free agency unshackled while the rest of the league braces for off-season chaos? Meanwhile, the Warriors roster itself is a shifting chessboard with 9 guaranteed contracts locked in Curry, Butler, Draymond, Moses Moody, Jonathan Patch, Ty Jerome, Garrison Matthews, Gishan Santos, and newly confirmed Quinton Post, with two-way contracts occupied by Jackson Rowe and Tyron Armstrong, but a glaring vacancy likely where Kevin Knox once graced the Santa Cruz floor. Exhibit 10 invites like L.J. Cryer and Coleman Hawkins circle in training camp hopefuls, trying to stitch the final patches on a roster far from complete. According to Perks from GSWCBA, the team sits $170 million in committed payroll, about $30 million shy of the second salary apron, with roughly $20 million between them and the first apron signaling tight margins for maneuvering. The NBA's intricate cap rules require the Warriors to sign 5 players before the season tip-off, and after inking rumored verbal agreements with free agents Al Horford and Dean Anthony Melton likely consuming, taxpayer mid-level and veteran, minimum slots respectively, the roster count climbs, but still leaves holes that must be filled by minimum contracts or their rookies. What's wild here is that Kuminga's comeback, should it happen, will be within this razor-thin financial framework, forcing Golden State to get creative without sacrificing salary flexibility or shaking their core too much. The market whisper from Perks suggests a probable initial contract range for Kuminga from that baseline $8.2 million qualifying offer up to a max like $26.3 million first-year salary, depending on how the Warriors structure deals and absorb rookie contracts. Could they front-load a deal? Include trade kickers similar to what Jalen Green secured with his Rockets-Phoenix move? A 3-year pact with player options might be the sweet spot given the Warriors. Leverage, yet rewarding Kuminga's talent as a potential cornerstone soaring above the bench and Steph's splash shadows. But will Kuminga accept anything less than star money for a star role? And if he doesn't, will Joe Lacob's dynasty blueprint shatter? Or can this fierce roller coaster somehow fuel another golden chapter? There's simply no easy resolution here. The off-season tick-tocks toward August, and Dub Nation holds its breath, wondering if this political chess game ends with Kuminga resigning, finally committing to the Bay, or traded for a subpar haul. That could haunt the team's backcourt depth for years. Does this trucking stalemate ripple deeper than basketball, a reflection of power struggles, egos, and the harsh bite of modern NBA economics, where youth, potential, and star ambition collide with capped realities? Will Kuminga emerge as the next great Dub, ready to join the pantheon beneath Curry, Thompson, and Green? Or will his defiance split the fragile continuity that paved the last 5 championships, leaving fans longing for the "we believe" spirit, that underdog heartbeat that once roared from Oracle Arena to Chase Center? Is it too much to hope that this saga will end not in bitterness or trade regret, but in a reunion embodying the very splash-era resilience that has defined this era of Warriors basketball? As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing. Just writing this, the stakes feel monumental, the uncertainty brutal. Every missed day chips away at the dream of another title, yet beneath the fractures, the spirit of Golden State's relentless pursuit still blazes. So I ask you, Warriors family, is this the ignition point for our next leap into glory, that rebellious spark to light a new dynasty? Or is this the crack that splits our legacy, fracturing the cohesion Joe Lacob built with so much hope and vision? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand, riding this turbulent wave with you all the way. If your heart is pounding loud enough to hear over the chatter of this off-season chaos, if that gnawing pit in your stomach won't let you sleep tonight, then say it loud in the comments. What do we do with Kuminga? What's the next move when the whole thing feels like a slow unraveling? Because here's the cold truth no one wants to say aloud. We are staring down the barrel of one of the most consequential crossroads in the entire Splash era, and every choice feels like a gamble that could either canonize Golden State's dynasty for another decade or ignite a fracture so deep it echoes all the way back to Oracle's final buzzer. Think about what we've witnessed in the past few weeks alone. The silence between Kuminga and the front office isn't just awkward, it's nuclear. It's a silent standoff charged with so much electricity that you can almost see the sparks flying through the Bay's foggy nights. The kid who came into the league defined by electric highlights and raw, untamed upside now exudes a frustration so palpable, so tinged with defiance, that it feels like we're watching a star not rise but flicker on the edge of burnout willing. To risk everything for a role and a paycheck that the Warriors just can't or won't offer under the current blueprint. And what does this say about Steph? About Draymond? The very pillars who have carried this team through 5 finals in 8 years, who have embodied sacrifice and trust, and the unbreakable bonds that define championship basketball. Steph's twilight, no matter how prolonged by that golden stroke, an unyielding will, suddenly seems intimate and vulnerable. You can almost sense Curry's unspoken burden, a commission to hold this ship together, while the undercurrents threaten to snap the mast. Draymond, fierce as always, is now playing a different game, maybe less on the court, more in the war rooms, trying to rally the fractured voices while managing his own mounting cynicism about whether this version of the franchise will extend or explode. And then there's the rookie class, Moses Moody and the quiet promise of Jonathan Patrick, the team's future that feels increasingly fragile. The whispers among the coaching staff reveal Kerr's clenched jaw, a coach soaked in intelligence and empathy, yet slowly wrestling with the raw realities that money talks louder than loyalty, and sometimes potential is too volatile to hold. In place, the front office, the dual-headed beast of Bob Myers and Joe Lacob, is stuck in a brutal bind. Lacob, the man who envisioned Kuminga as the heir apparent, now wonders if that vision blinded him to the growing fissure between organizational patience and the young star's impatience. Bob Myers, the architect known for masterstrokes and market wizardry, faces a challenge that might finally be beyond the power of clever deals and silken words, a situation where financial boundaries, player will, and the merciless ticking of the NBA's cap clock converge into a perfect storm. The trade market's whisper has turned into a deafening silence. No blockbuster offers, no jaw-dropping swaps, just tentative, lukewarm gestures that don't begin to capture Kuminga's potential or Golden State's valuation. Sacramento's cold offer, Miami's vanished interest, Chicago's own strategic. Pivot each a sign not just of risk aversion, but of the marketplace reacting to Kuminga's own wavering commitment. And then the looming question that no one inside Chase Center seems to want to say aloud. What if Kuminga walks into next season on that qualifying offer, playing 1 year of risk and uncertainty for a gamble that history says rarely pays off? GSW would face not just a roster headache, but a philosophical crossroads, evoking memories of teams who gambled and lost on talent held hostage by circumstance. Forgetting that restricting a star can sometimes backfire spectacularly, but can the Warriors afford to rescind that offer? Would Lakers' vision of dynasty crumble into mistrust and regret if Kuminga slips through their fingers, free to chase fortune and freedom elsewhere? The layers here are as complex as any playoff chess match, and the stakes just keep climbing. From a committed payroll already teetering on the edge of luxury taxation to a roster that lacks depth beyond the starters. This isn't just a player contract dispute, it's a test of the entire Golden State identity. Are they the unstoppable steamroller of championship fervor? Or will this season's limbo become a prelude to rebuilding rumors and painful reckonings? I keep asking myself, what if this standoff is bigger than basketball? What if it's the painful growing pains of a team transitioning from the irreplaceable core of Curry, Thompson, Green to a new breed of warriors, where young lions like Kuminga must choose between legacy and self-definition? This isn't a narrative we've seen in the Splash era before, a star player taking the reins not by unanimous celebration, but by sheer obstinate will and frustration with being overshadowed. Can this moment birth a new chapter one fueled by rebellion, grit, and uneasy alliances? Or does it signal the fracture point that will haunt the Chase Center for years, a cautionary tale where loyalty was tested and ambitions fractured? I've sat through every chapter of Warriors history, from the bruising playoff series loss in 2016's heartbreak to the raucous celebrations that followed each ring. Every piece of this saga feels almost cinematic, a masterpiece written in tension, grit, and glory. That's why tonight, as the silent siege tightens, I feel that electric fear stirring deep in my chest. It's the same that pulsed through Oracle when the team first took flight, the same adrenaline when Steph unleashed that triple-double storm, the same stomach churn when Draymond's fire boiled over. This is our moment again, but this time, the stakes are as steep off the court as on it, and the outcome more uncertain than ever. As someone who has bled blue and gold through every high, every low, every unimaginable comeback and gut-wrenching loss, I can feel that something seismic is shifting beneath our feet, a new test of fate that goes beyond mere basketball. The question I put to you now, my fellow Dub Nation warriors, is this: where do your loyalties lie? Are you ready to bury the hatchet with Kuminga, trusting that this fiery star will one day shine brightest alongside Curry's legacy? Or has this offseason's cold standoff cracked the foundation too deeply, demanding we brace for a future built, not on nostalgia, but on ruthless reinvention? Now, drop your most blistering, unfiltered takes below. No apologies, no holding back. Tell me what you believe, what you fear, and what you hope for. I'm here, locked in with you, every pulse, every heartbreak, every moment of glory. It's us against the storm, Dub Nation, and the road ahead is ours to write.